we have arrived. Are you ready?
What time would we be returned to the hotel?
It depends actually. Let's say between 3:35. It depends on us.
Because we have a flight, so.
And what time?
It's 8. We need to
Oh, we
leave at
will make
4:30.
it. No problem. We'll make it. Yes, we will be very close to your hotel. In any case, I can just send you with the card. Don't worry about it. Wait, buyurun. This way, please.
Uchisar.
Hemen kısaca anlatıp sizlere döneceğim. Bu arada fotoğraf çekebilirsiniz siz de. Okay, so before I give you some time, I would love to give you some information about you, if you don't mind. Do you like history?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
That's great, because I don't want to bore you.
No.
To be honest. We are here to see this big rock formation with the flag on it. It is the castle. To be honest, when I say castle, people usually think of like regular, like normal castles in Ireland, England, this kind of castles, but we have this kind of rock formations used as castles or watchtowers in Cappadocia. And this is the highest point of Goreme National Park, 1,600 meters above sea level, which makes this the most important point of this region, because it was throughout the history, actually it was mostly used as a watchtower, because Cappadocia used to be a trading center. Silk Road, one of the most important trading road of the world, used to pass through here. Can you see that town on the slope of the hill? It is Avanos. We will go there for lunch and also pottery ceramic workshop. So the Silk Road used to pass through there, which is 7-8 kilometers away from here, and from the top of the castle they could watch over the caravans, traders, merchants passing through. So that's why it was mostly used as a watchtower, not a defensive castle. By the way, the castle is 11 million years old. But it has a history of 6,000 years, and in the 6,000 years, more or less 50 communities, 50 civilizations settled down here, and they all use this for their own needs. And that's why it has a lot of levels, a lot of caves, because every one of them added more sections according to their needs. And underneath the castle, there's an underground settlement. Have you seen an underground city before?
No.
In a green tour. If you join the green tour, you can see it actually. It is something like that, but very small. It has a capacity of 200-300 people. In a sudden attack, when they couldn't resist the enemy, they could just go down to that underground settlement and hide there for a while. Not a long time, because underground caves don't have good conditions for people to live. No sunlight, humidity, darkness, and also dust inside actually. So it's not good for us. So that's why if the invasion took longer than 2 weeks, they had to use a tunnel to escape. And there is a tunnel which is connected with Love Valley 2-3 kilometers away from here. It means the tunnel is 2-3 kilometers long. They could use that, and through the valley they could go to other castles to seek for shelter. There are 2 more castles like this one in this region. This is called
Uchisar.
Uchisar, which means the castle in the end. The second one is Ortahisar, the castle in the middle. The first one is Başhisar, which means first castle actually.
Okay.
There are like 7-9 kilometers in between the castles, and in the time people used pigeons to communicate with each other. Can you see that little holes on the formations around
Yes.
the castle?
Yes.
They are all for pigeons. All
Okay.
for pigeons. By the way, pigeon was also one of the most important food source in
Okay.
this region. Instead of chicken, they ate pigeons here. It's
Okay.
quite tasty though. And also, sorry. And also, the castle is run by municipality. It is under protection of government. It is open for visitation, not the interior. People usually go up the castle to have a view. It's really nice. But as I said, companies don't take the risk. But the rest, the other formations, they are all privately owned. I mean, the people used to live in them. So they inherited it, or they have ownership papers for those formations, but they are not living in them anymore because it's not that fun to live in a cave. Yeah, you can stay there for 2 days, 3 days. It is okay, it is fun, but not very fun to live a long time. Dust, humidity, you always have to clean the cave, this kind of things, not that good. But people had to live in the caves back in the time because, take a look, Cappadocia is like something. Woodlands. We don't have woodlands here. We don't have forests here. And as you know, wood was one of the most important building material of the world. But as they didn't have wood, it was very easy to carve these formations out. It is very soft. You can easily carve it out. So also there's one extra thing, a plus thing, good thing about caves, the temperature, constant temperature all around the year, 18, 16 Celsius, which is good. In winter, here is sometimes minus 20, very cold. You want summer, sometimes plus 40, 42 degrees, but all around here the same temperature, and you can always add an extra room. That's why people prefer living in the caves. After 60s, they abandoned the caves because tourism started. They started to live in the regular houses, and they converted their caves into hotels, maybe pensions, this kind of things. And we came here because this is a good place for you to go down. That's formation, cave dwelling. It is open for visitation. If the owner is there, he may claim 2-3 lira, maybe 5 Turkish lira from you to enter. But if he's not there, you can still go inside. No problem. It is not trespassing. It's not trespassing. I mean, he's not gonna shoot you. Don't worry. You can go to the balcony. You can go to the balconies, rooms, everything. You can also take some photos from here, visit there, and you can come back here. One more thing about these formations. They were also used as graves in Roman era. People were buried in them. After during Ottoman era till 60s, people used them just cave houses because the graves were already looted by locals, I can say. So we are going to be here for let me check the time. It is 10, let's say 10:30. I think it is enough for all.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So we will meet each other down there or here. Oh,
Okay.
Okay. Please enjoy your time.
अब हमें मोहनजोदड़ो जाना चाहिए लाजमी। यहाँ के खंडरात,
करके बेगमों को ले जाएंगे।
यहाँ के खंडरात।
Keşke diyor etek giymeseydim diyor. Etekle mi gittim diyor. Ya dedim he. Adana'da etek giymiyorum da buraya gelirken etek mi giyeceğim? Yaparsın sen diyor. Deliye bak. Geçen gün de bana dedi sen hiç etek giymiyorsun diyor.
We'll have some time taking photos, then you're gonna follow the way which comes all the way back here. We will meet each other right there
Okay.
in this museum shop.
Okay.
Let me tell you one more thing about this museum shop. It is usually like more or less 7 times more expensive than the other places. So
Okay.
accordingly, you can buy something from there, but you don't have to, of course. There are bathrooms inside, but just one stall for everyone. That's why before you go out of the turnstiles, you may want to use the bathrooms down there.
Okay. Bathroom.
It's really clean too. As I said, first we will visit some churches together, then you will have free time. But let me give you some general information about here. This museum, Goreme Open Air Museum, is the first Greek Orthodox monastery in the world. The first one because the sect, Greek Orthodox sect, was founded in Cappadocia around 4th century AD. It is also the time when the early Christians came to this region. They came here because of Romans, because in Roman era the religion was forbidden, because Romans were pagans. They believed in many gods actually, but Christianity, a new religion, one god religion, let's say, so that's why they were executing, killing Christians. So that's why Christians chose Cappadocia as a place where they could hide and practice their religion secretly, because as for a long time Cappadocia was known as fairyland, a lot of underground caves, a lot of formations like this where you can hide in it. So they came here at 4th century AD. Until 6th century AD, they had to practice their religion secretly because this was under rule of Roman Empire. And in Roman era, yes, this was not a very important for Romans, but they still had some outposts, I mean soldiers here. So that's why till 6th century they had to practice their religion secretly. But 6th century AD is the time when Roman Empire divided into two parts. And east part, west part. East part, known as Byzantine, like Istanbul, Constantinople, formerly known as, was the capital of Byzantine Empire. And they made the religion an official religion. It was after 6th century AD till Ottoman era, they practiced their religion freely, no problem. But in Ottoman era, they were still free. but something else happened. The thing was money. In Ottoman era, if you were not a Muslim, you had to pay for it. It's a tax, non-Muslim tax. It is not that fair, but to be honest, it was in the favor of non-Muslims, because if you pay that tax, if the non-Muslims, let's say, paid that tax, they didn't have to join the army of Ottoman Empire, which is a good thing, to be honest, for them. They didn't have to pay an extra business tax, which is good. And Ottomans promised to build churches, chapels with the 30-40% of the taxes for Christian community. Actually, it was mostly in the favor of non-Muslims, I can say. And that's why in Ottoman era, they didn't have to use these old churches, chapels, because there were new churches, basilicas, cathedrals for them. And it went on like that till 1923. 1923 is the time when Ottoman Empire officially fell. Turkish Republic was founded, and we had a population exchange. It was not a good thing, to be honest, for both sides, for the history of Greece and Turkey, because just because of religion, many people left their homelands. So it was 2 million people who was affected by that population exchange. And that's why after 1923, no Christian community left in Anatolia. And I can say it was just Muslims, locals using here, this formation, this caves, as poultry houses, stables, or let's say storage rooms, kitchens, tandoori houses for this kind of purposes. That's why, unfortunately, you will see great damages inside of the churches and chapels, mostly vandalism, but there are also natural issues, because these are caves. If you don't take care of them, they may fall off, to be honest. So till 1965 it was like that. In 1965 tourism, like 60s, tourism started in Cappadocia. That's why government decided to make money out of this kind of historical places, and they converted this into a museum in 1965. In 1985 UNESCO registered here to World Heritage List, so this is a UNESCO site. And also the symbol of this museum is this one. It's a nunnery. I mean, this is the dormitory of nuns, girls. It has like dormitories, kitchens, dining rooms, a church, chapel, this kind of things. That one right here, the big rock formation, it is for monks. So it shows us that back in that time, nuns and monks could not stay with each other. The education, the training was separate, actually. But there is something funny. Actually, there's a tunnel in between.
Down?
Yeah, there's a tunnel connecting these two to each other. I'm not sure why. Anyways, it is forbidden to visit this one because it is falling off because of erosion. This one, they say it is under restoration. I have been here 17 years. I've never seen any restorator here. I have no idea why it is closed for visitation, but it is still closed. It also has one church which is really beautiful. There's another church right there. You see the stairs at the end, you can see some paintings. Yeah. It is called Red Church. The difference, it's a unique church, to be honest. Like in most of the churches, you can see the stories of Jesus Christ, right? Just stories of him from Bible. But in this one, stories of Virgin Mary. So this is the difference. There's one more church in Turkey, in Istanbul, called Kariye Church, Kariye Museum. Now it is a mosque, actually. They copied this paintings, everything from here and built that church. It is way newer, actually. This is quite old. I want to say that these are the first examples of Greek Orthodox churches, actually, because this is where the sect was founded. Okay, so now I will give some information in Turkish. In the meantime, you may want to take some pictures from there. Not yet. I will be with you now. I will give information in Turkish and continue together. You may want to also use the bathroom.
Okay.
So you can take photos. I will give information in Turkish. Is that okay? I'll let you know when. Sekko kuru duvar üzerine boyama tekniğidir. Çok fazla o yüzden canlı renkleri yoktur.
बैटरी ऐसे जा रही है
Tanesinde iskelet göresinde
87
तो अभी तो इतनी देर तक चला रहा है तो हवा नहीं चल रही है
ama buraya ait değil başka yer. Aşağıda bazı resimler
कैमरा नॉट अलाउड इन
sonlarda şöyle yapan bir göreceksiniz. Sonuçlarına bu elinde de bir İncil var. O şey, mesela sorry. It is called Basil Chapel.
You need water?
Sorry?
You need water?
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm used to it.
Okay.
The chapel is quite big, but it has two sections: the grave section and the church section. You can see it from here better. So, this is the first section which has graves in them, many graves. This is normal to have graves inside of the churches because these are family churches. As it is family-owned church, they wanted to be buried in their holy place, sacred place. In this one and in this one, there are skeletons, 1,600 years old, older than the church itself. Two women's skeleton died at the age of 20-25. Back in that time, it was considered as old, to be honest, 20-25, because people were not living a long time back in that time. So they don't belong to here. They were found in another place. The government brought them here to show people how this grace used to be. When you enter the chapel section, there are two paintings here. One standing like this, Saint Vasilios. He is the founder of Greek Orthodox sect, doing Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, like this or like this, doesn't matter, the same meaning. And in his hand there's a Bible. Here you can see Saint Fyodor on a brown horse, the friend of Saint George. Saint George is really famous. He's from Cappadocia, according to some historians. He is the dragon slayer, and his painting is on this wall right here. You can see Saint George, the dragon slayer. He has a spear in his hand. If you look carefully, there's a dragon here. And when you look at the main axis, you can see Pantocrator Jesus doing Trinity, having a book in his hand, and he is the only one who has a cross in his halo. The others, they have halos, but no crosses in it. Jesus has a cross in it. Number two is the painting called Madonna, Virgin Mary, holding Jesus Christ in her hands like this. So it is also mentioned in the Holy Book of Islam, Quran, as the first miracle of Jesus, because it is not mentioned in Bible, but in the Quran it says that when Jesus was born, he was talking actually.
Yes.
So it is mentioned in Quran like this, but in Bible, no. To be honest, yeah, it is mentioned that he is talking, not as the first miracle. I can say this is the difference. And also you can see a Roman soldier who accepted the religion as his own religion. That's why he was painted here as the protector of the church. The painting technique in this church is secco.
Secco?
Secco, which is an Italian word. It means dry, actually. So this is the dry wall technique. So next church will be fresco, fresh plaster technique. So firstly we will see secco and fresco. We'll take a look. I'll be here waiting for you. I think it's better for me to explain some of the paintings, some of the stories that you can see in the next church. And here, like, it is not just in one church, by the way. They are the best protected ones in all churches. Let's start with this one. This is a story called Thesis. And in this story, actually, it is like here, Jesus Christ sitting on a throne in heaven, in paradise, with Virgin Mary, John the Baptist. If you look at them, they are like this. Actually, they are asking for forgiveness for the sinners in the world. There are two more people here with no halo. They are the sinners. They represent the sinners in the world. And this is Annunciation, Angel Gabriel heralding Virgin Mary that she would have a baby. Here you can see Journey to Bethlehem, Virgin Mary on a horse. This is Joseph, her fiance. They are talking to each other, and actually at first they are going to Bethlehem to join the population census. It was mandatory back in that time. You had to join the population census. And here they are talking to each other because this is when she told him that she is pregnant. But it's a very difficult situation for Joseph because they are engaged, not married. And here he is asking, Mary, I haven't even touched you. You cannot be pregnant. So that's a very big problem for him actually. That's why at first, for a while, he didn't believe in Virgin Mary. Later, Angel Gabriel showed herself to him in his dreams and explained everything. And here you can see nativity. According to Bible, Jesus was born in a stable. And that's why there are animals here trying to keep Jesus in cradle warm. These are the shepherds witnessing this miracle. This is Joseph, her fiance, with this expression on his face. As I said, he didn't believe in Virgin Mary for a while. That's why he's sad, thoughtful like this. And this is Virgin Mary. Here, there's another story going on. The first bath of Jesus. It is not baptizer. It is the first bath of Jesus. And there's a light beam. You see, it goes all the way up in the sky. This light beam belongs to this star. This is the star of Jesus. Halley star. And these three wise men, three kings, let's say, Melchior, Gaspar, Balthazar, they follow the star to find where the new king was born. They have gifts to offer in their hand. And this is escaping to Egypt, Virgin Mary, Jesus Christ, Joseph. They are escaping to Egypt because King of Jerusalem, he ordered his soldiers to kill every baby under 2 years old. If you look carefully, there's a mother doing like this, crying, because they are killing, massacring the innocent babies here. This is a miracle of Jesus, resurrection of Lazarus. He resurrected Lazarus from death. And here you can see entering to Jerusalem. He is on a horse, a white horse. These teenagers, they put their clothes in front of the horse like a red carpet to welcome him. Baptize him. He was baptized in Jordan River by John the Baptist. An angel holding towels for Jesus. And here you can see transfiguration, which is also known as metamorphosis. In this story, Jesus meets two elder prophets, Elias and Moses, and they tell Jesus that your time has come, you will join us. Which means, how do you know all of these guys?
It's famous.
We are friends.
We are friends.
We are friends, okay.
Yes.
It's a small world, right?
Yeah.
No problem. So they tell Jesus that your time has come, you will join us. Which means he already knew that he was going to go to heaven. And here you can see the trail of Judas. This is Judah who is trying to hug Jesus. Because he sold Jesus for 30 silver coins, and he said to the soldiers that the one he will hug or kiss is Jesus, because soldiers had never seen Jesus. They didn't know who Jesus was. So this is kind of a message. And here, Last Supper, it of course happens before this story. In this story, you can see Jesus, his 12 disciples sitting around the table with wine, red wine, and bread on the table. There is also a fish on the table. Fish is the symbol of one of the most important symbols of Christianity, to be honest. Originally there was no fish on the table. And this is crucifixion, a small part of the crucifixion. He was crucified on a hill called Golgotha Hill. It was a tradition for Romans to crucify people on that hill. That's why there are a lot of skulls, skeletons there. And there are two small soldiers here. This one here is putting a spear into torso of Jesus. The other one is given vinegar. When he was thirsty, he wanted water, right? And instead of water, he gave him vinegar. So that's a very bad thing, to be honest. This is here, actually, this is a naked saint, not a saint, hermit, fully naked. He was a hermit in Egypt. because Christians came here from Egypt, actually from Middle East. So there is a big connection between Egyptians and Cappadocians, to be honest. So he trained some of the Cappadocian saints, Saint Thomas, for example. This is Saint Basilios, and right here you can see famous Saint George, Saint Theodore killing the dragon. So these are the stories well protected inside of the churches and chapels. And now there is one church at the end of the tunnel on the left hand side called Apple Church. So by the time I give information in Turkish, I think you can visit the church and wait for me there. You don't have to come back here. Is that okay for you?
Yes.
Okay, please. You can follow the tunnel, turn left, one more tunnel, then the church.
Cameras are not allowed there as well.
Sorry?
Cameras are not allowed there as well.
At the first cave you are allowed to take photo, but
Okay.
in the church no.
Okay. I'm focusing. I'm focusing.
O sea, yo creo que son historias que sí pasaron, pero no al nivel
Claro.
que...
Sí, pero por ejemplo que la Virgen María,
First cave में, first cave में.
tú sabes. Como ya el milagro, mira, está...
Sí pasaron.
Разводили для белка голубиного яйца. На этом белке разводили как раз краску.
Now you know the difference between secco and fresco. So as you saw actually, fresco is much more colorful, right?
Yes.
So it can give you an idea about the wealth of the families who owned these churches. These are family-owned churches actually. These are not like one authority decided to build churches. That's why they don't look like each other actually. If you had money, you could have a big church with fresco. Not enough money, secco. No money, no painting. That's the point actually. It all depended on the budgets of the families, I can say. So there's one more thing I have to explain: the fish. Maybe you have seen it before. Fish is a very important symbol of Christianity. It's not because of the miracle of Jesus. You know, one of the miracles, he multiplied fish and bread for the people, right? It has nothing to do with it. The explanation of it is, I have to draw it for you. Ictus, have you ever heard that? Ictus?
No.
Ictus fish? Okay, let me write it down for you. Ictus means Jesus Christos Theoios Soter, which means Jesus Christ is God's Son and He is our Savior. And in Greek language, it is written like this: Iota, Chi, Theta, Upsilon, Sigma. It's like IXO with a dot, Y or V, doesn't matter, and Sigma. You see Sigma?
Yes.
You can use sigma as a tail, and you will have a fish, right? It is simply like this, without writing. Maybe you have seen this before. Yeah. You know, the fish. And in English it is I, C, H, T, H, U, S. Ictus. And every letter has a meaning. I, Jesus. C, H, Christos, Th, Theos, U, Ios, S, Soter. Jesus, Christos, Theos, Ios, Soter, which means Jesus Christ, God's Son, our Savior. Instead of writing all of this, you can just draw this. So that's the reason for the fish to be the important symbol of Christianity. And in Cappadocia, sometimes instead of the fish, we use a cross. The same meaning, but we need these letters, right? So let's make a cross out of these letters. So first we need iota, I. And we have the I. We need the X, right? We already have the X, like this, and it is like a cross already, right? So we need theta, the O. And let's put this cross in a circle. So we need upsilon, Y or V, doesn't matter. We already have the Y, or V,
Sigma,
doesn't matter. Now we need sigma.
Yes,
Let's
we are
make
like
sigmas here. So this is the cross that you can mostly see in the churches and chapels. Instead of fish, sometimes they use the cross, and it is ictos, and it is very famous and very important symbol of Christianity, I can say. So now I will give you some time. Before you go up there, take a look at this church. It is a very simple church called Barbara, Saint Barbara Church. When you go inside, you will see almost three techniques. Secco, fresco together, and also very simple paintings. It's like child's work. Three, like a triangle, which is a tree. You can see chicken painting inside. You can also see scarab. Do you know scarab? The beetle in Greek, ancient Egypt mythology, which is a sacred beetle. Actually, sorry to say that, dung beetle. You know, carrying a roll of dung actually. So it is that, but it has nothing to do with Christianity, right? But as I said earlier, there's a huge connection between Egyptian Copts and Cappadocians. And for that reason, the graves that we saw, they were full of mummified bodies. But it's a Christianity area, right? In Christianity, you cannot, that we usually have two ceremonies, burial ceremonies, cremating or burying. In Cappadocia plus mummifying, because they knew it or they learned it from Egyptians. So this is the thing, connections between Egyptians and Cappadocians, I can say. So you can see that. And after that, you can go to this church, chapel, to see Saint George, Saint Theodore killing the dragon. That's why it is called Snake Church. And after that church, till the platform there, in between, you are allowed to take photos.
Okay.
And if you really want to see, if you want to see a real good church, like imagine Apple Church, the church that you have seen, with no damages, right? There is a church called Dark Church. It is really beautiful. If you are really interested in seeing good churches, you can see it. But it requires an extra fee, 30 euros, 2 euros or less than 2 euros. You don't have to pay to go up to the platform like those people. You can go take photos. But if you want to see the church, there's a ticket office over there that you can buy the ticket for. But to be honest, as I said, if you are interested, it is worth it. And then you can follow the way. We'll take you to one more church, Sandal Church, like Apple Church, a little bit better than the Apple Church, free of charge. Then you will take the stairs down like those people, and it will take you in front of where we will meet. Okay, I'll be there waiting for you to check the church. What about 12:10? Which is 4 euros.
Half an hour.
Yes.
Enough for everyone?
Yes, I hope half an hour. Half an hour.
It's 40 minutes.
Okay, yes.
Doesn't matter. If you finish earlier, you can come there and have an expensive coffee. No problem.
Okay.
What time? It says 11:30, let's say. Yeah.
जो कलरफुल होगी वो फ्रेस्को होगी. कि ये कब्रें
ये तुम खड़े भी कब्रों पे।
हाँ
This is Love Valley.
Okay.
Actually, a main part of the Love Valley. It is 7 kilometers long, starting from our first stop, Uchisar. Can you see that on the right hand side?
Yes, yes,
All
castle.
the way down here. And as I said, this is the best part of it. It is called Love Valley because early in the morning, if you come here, you can see couples, lovers, bride and grooms actually taking pictures here because this is the best place to watch balloons.
Okay.
Actually, the best place if you are thinking about doing something like that,
Yeah.
you should come
Yeah,
here with
it's
a taxi. Actually, their takeoff areas are all around here, but it is a must for the balloon companies to fly over Love Valley. That's why this is the best place to watch it actually. Okay.
Yeah.
So one more thing, you can take photos from here, from there. There's a way to go to that platform down there. So 15 minutes later, we will meet each other next to the bus.
Okay. Okay.
Bir daha